Welcome back to Living with a Classic, another episode of Daily Driving Classic Weekly, where I'm at the moment daily driving this 1991 Daimler XJ40. And if you can't tell, summer has arrived here. It's absolutely amazing. I really long for it to be warm outside, not to be cold and windy and rainy. And it's just beautiful sunshine. You see, got the sunroof open all the time, and that's why I get some weird shadows here in this video, but I'm just enjoying the nice weather here, and I've been enjoying this Daimler as well. It's been going really well, which hasn't been completely straightforward in the past. This car has had some small issues and has stopped a couple times on the highway and things, but so far it hasn't missed a beat. I haven't had any issues, no check engine lights, no nothing. So I think the fixes that were done now before summer, I think have finally fixed the mechanical side of this car. There's a few small things left to do, but it runs well, starts well, it keeps the right temperature, doesn't overheat, good oil pressure, and everything else. Yes, there is that little chattery sound up front. That is a top bushing for the shock absorbers. They're on their way, so I will sort it out at some point. But that's really just on these roads here very close to my house, which are very bumpy, especially this road right here going up sort of a big hill up here. But otherwise, things have been going really well, and I'm really enjoying this Daimler. It's a very modern car to drive, used to what I was driving before, which is a 1975 car, which still, I mean, I don't think that feels that old, but it's very quick. It is a lot quicker than I would actually think it would be, especially just accelerating from a standstill, like not a hard acceleration, but just sort of when you get away from the stop sign, especially if you're in a zone where speed limit is very low. It is very easy just to get past that really too quickly, and you forget about it and you have to hit the brakes and slow down. But yeah, it's an absolute joy to drive. However, I want to talk about some of the things that let this car down, and because I'm using it now a lot and I feel like everything else is pretty much fine on the car at the moment. I mean, there will be issues coming up, of course, but I've started to think about the cosmetics for the outside cosmetics, especially the rust in the front wings of this car. You can have a look at that when we stop, but basically in the back corner of the front wings at the bottom, really just above the sill, on both sides the wing is being pushed out by corrosion, and there's big blob of corrosion in the rear of one of them, and then one there's a rear and a little bit in the front as well. So it's actually starting to bother me a bit. I mean, it's not structural at all, and it's not like I can jump from there down to the sill or anything. It's just, that's where it sits. But because it's sort of is pushed out so far, I feel like, at least in my opinion, it feels very obvious, and it's sort of the first thing I look at when I see the car parked. I look at that, and it's actually really starting to bug me, and I started thinking that, okay, well, maybe I should send the car off to body shop and they'll take care of it. But if you know this channel, there are a lot of cars on this channel, and there is limited time and a limited budget especially, and all of them do need attention. And that's really sort of the thing of this channel, that I mean, there are several cars on here, and I do my best to keep them all in the best condition I can, but it means that I can't do everything all at once. But I started looking more at the part down there, and it's a pretty straightforward panel. Don't worry, we're gonna have a look at it just a little bit, and it would be pretty straightforward to blend in the paint as well, because that's the other issue. If I were to just find another wing, which is not that difficult to find, a completely rust-free one, this is a Daimler, so it has the extra chrome going down the sides. I'll have to drill holes to fit that, and then it also has a pinstripe, which I would love to keep. And I haven't checked yet how easy it is to get a hold of a pinstripe, because of course it'd be a lot easier just to find a good panel that has no rust in it, get that painted, then before that make the holes for the chrome strip, and then fit a new pinstripe. But if that is not the easiest thing to do, maybe I'll just repair the panels that I do have, and that would be, you know, a good project here on the channel. I mean, I will do a lot of rust work on the S-Type, so this could be a good, on my 1966 S-Type, this would be, you know, a good sort of practice for that, because I haven't done that much metal work, and it would be a fun way to practice it, because if it's not perfect on this car, it is a bolt-on, you know, front wing, so if it doesn't turn out perfect, then in a couple of years I don't like it, I can find a better one bolted on and then, you know, paint the whole thing. So maybe that should be a fun little project on the channel, you know, sometime after summer maybe, when I'm also driving something else, either when the XJ6 is back on the road, or if I'm, I don't know, maybe driving something else. We'll see what happens. And then take the wings off, fix that. I haven't checked if I can get the repair panel, or if it has to be made, or if, I mean, maybe I'll find another wing and take the bottom half of it if I find a wing that is, you know, rotten in the front or something, because the whole wing likes to rust everywhere, so even though the back is the most common part. But I'm almost home now. I'm going to pull up here, and this car is really dirty from all the pollen, so I'm going to give it a quick wash so we can see it better, and we'll have a look at the panel down there, and I'll see what you guys think. So that was just a really quick wash, not really a detail or anything like that, because it's my daily driver and this thing sits outside and there is a lot of pollen at the moment. So in 2 or 3 days, it's going to look exactly the same again, but it looks nicer now at least. And we can have a look at the rust areas more better without having them covered in road dust and pollen. But while I was waiting for it to dry off a bit, I did try a thing I wanted to for a while. I just grabbed some metal polish and a couple of rags. And have a look at that, how nice the wheels can turn out if I want to. I mean, here I haven't taken anything. You see it's all sort of matte. And down here I have polished them. These are not painted. I believe they were anodized originally, but I mean, that was 30 years ago and they're not that well taken care of. I've seen a couple different things done by people. Some have polished them completely, and I do like the idea. I have a set of polished Kents, which, I mean, it was like 7 or 8 years ago. I polished them to mirror finish and then just waxed them. And as long as I never let them get too dirty and just clean them off, they've stayed that way. I haven't had to repolish them. So that's one thing I may do, polish everything. I tried a little bit here as well. And I mean, this would be hours per wheel. I mean, I just maybe given this 20 minutes, or if even that, probably like 15. Either I do that, or I just polish the outside to a mirror finish. And the inside here, so do a masking line here, I paint, you know, a silver metallic or something, and then do that. But let me know what you think down in the comments below, what you think would look nicest. I haven't decided yet. I mean, the wheels always do make the car, and I think having nice shiny wheels, because this is a beautiful style of wheel, I love these. I think that would look very, very nice. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, and also let me know if that would be something that you want to see here. It will be, you know, completely DIY, polish them up, and if I paint them, just be paint them at home with rattle cans. But I think that could make it look pretty nice. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now on to the little bit of rust that's on this car. We got 2 arches in the back, which has a little bit. The one on this side, I think, can just definitely be saved, because there's nothing really down here. Tiny bit of surface right there, a tiny bit of bubbling there, a little bit there, a little bit there. But I think most of this probably doesn't need any welding. I mean, once again, we're not going for concours or anything. Just want to make this car presentable. So this could probably be, you know, sanded down, treated, and then I can have, you know, painting line to here or something, and blend that in, and that would probably look pretty nice. The other side may need some welding, because it is, you know, starting to go a little bit more here. That's why I want to do the other side, so it doesn't same as this one. But you can get an arch for this, so maybe put in part of an arch here. But that is not something I see as an immediate thing. I'd want to maybe sand this back a bit and just treat it and make it not be any worse. But what does bother me is this thing up here, because if you're looking at the car from a distance, which most people are, the rear arch over there, that little issue, you don't really see that. The rest of the car looks nice and shiny. I have yet to polish or wax it or anything. But I mean, the rest of the car does look pretty nice and presentable, especially if I polish up the wheels as well. But this, it really does stick out like a sore thumb, because it does stick out. And yeah, it doesn't look nice. It bleeds a little bit of rust. I have sprayed a little bit of wax there just to try and not make it any worse, but it is what it is. You can't do anything about it. So yeah, on the other side, it's, I'm not gonna say it's worse, but it's, yeah, it has that issue as well. And there, so you can see it's being pushed out, and then it's starting to come here as well. But the rest of the panel is perfect, and there's no rust inside. And if you saw when I MOT'd this car, underneath there's no rust or anything. So I do want to do something about this, but maybe, like I said, I don't want to do a whole painting, a whole restoration, anything on this car. That's not really the point. I do love this car, and I love to drive it. Hopefully it will be reliable now, and I can drive it for a bit. But it's a high mileage car in pretty used condition, but I just want to make it look presentable. I have seen that you can get some repair panels this section down, but they're pretty pricey from the UK with shipment here. I mean, it's I think with shipment and everything, we're talking for both panels, like it'll be close to $350 to $400, and then there's import taxes and all that. So that might not be the best solution. Maybe at some point seeing how bad it is, or I'm going to keep hunting for spare panels. I do have one for the other side, which I picked up, which has a tiny bit of bubbling, like smaller than that in a little corner. So I mean, that could be fixed, and that panel could be used. So either using the whole panel. But then there's my next issue. I really do like this pinstripe on the car. It is in perfect shape. It is perfectly straight, been put on really nicely when the car was painted like 20 years ago or something. And yeah, it's just, I'd be ashamed to have to get rid of that. But I don't know, maybe it's very easy to get a hold of. I haven't found one so far, but if anyone knows any way to get a hold of these pinstripes, maybe that could be a solution. And then just swap over the panel, because that would be a lot easier. But I don't know. It's always fun to know what you guys think as well. Do you think that could be okay? Because it's so far down, I think that could be blended quite nicely, and you know, a repair panel put in here, not really be that big of a job. Also, I think it'd be kind of fun. I haven't done that much metal work, like I said, but I plan on doing a lot on my 66S type, and this would be a good sort of practice thing, especially on like a front wing, because if I'm really not happy with it, all I have to do is get a complete other wing for the car. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, rear arches a little bit more, because that's, you know, a structural part of the car, or not structural, but it's like not a bolt-on part. So this could be maybe like a first sort of good fun project thing. I mean, it wouldn't be at the moment, like I said, it would be when I'm driving something else, either the XJ6 or maybe XJ12 for a while, and I do this. It all sort of depends what happens with the other cars on the channel for a while. The only other sort of corrosion on this car is where they all start to go. So a little bit bubbling right there, and the same on the other side. But I'm not going to do anything about that at the moment. I've rust proof from the other side, and hopefully it's not going to get any worse. But as you can see, this car would really need some polish and wax, so that is something I will do as well before it gets too hot, just because it has to sit outside a lot, and some protection will help it. Anyways, that's it for this video of Daily Driving a Classic Weekly. Like I have mentioned before, I do want to get the XJ12 out on the road, and I have ordered some of the parts for it. I just have another few things I need to do before I can get to it. But would you like to maybe see those episodes be in the Daily Driving a Classic Weekly, where I get that thing going? Because then I'll have 2 cars to daily. And I think that might be a good thing, because so far the XJ40 is not really putting out maybe enough content for a video every week on it, because so far it's going well. And since it's my only car I'm driving at the moment, some of the big jobs like the headliner stuff has to wait until I can sort of take it off the road for, you know, a week or so and drive something else. And since that's what I'm driving at the moment, that's sort of what I have to do. But let me know what you think of that as well in the comments down below. I know it's been a lot of questions here, but I do love all the comments on these videos, and I read all of them, and I do my best to reply to all of them. It really, really does mean a lot. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel and you like these sort of videos, please do subscribe to the channel. Anyways, until next time, I'm Adam, and this was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.